1 second before you record. So Rehan, I just woke up like half an hour ago. It's morning. I'm in California. And
I just woke up half an hour ago.
I started
also.
recording. Okay. Okay, guys, welcome to Soaring Through Chaos. We are in chaotic times, but the beautiful thing is I have with me Rehan Allahwala. Among other things, he founded the Institute of Peace. He's been doing amazing things. And Muna AlSheikh, she's been working on peace between Israel and Palestine. And in fact, joining us right now is Asma Al Hamiz. And maybe we should start with a brief round of introductions. Amuna, would you like to get started?
yes. Hi, everyone. And oh, Asma just joined.
Yes.
Hello, my
Perfect timing.
Salam. Good. Good. It's a good, perfect timing. Hello, Rehan. Nice to meet you.
We are recording this, Asma, so
It'll be fun.
it might go live. So
No. We'll record
I'm
it.
starting
If you like it, then it goes live. So
I'm starting the introduction. So a bit about me. I came to America to become a therapist, honestly.
Good to let me know.
So I came to America in 2008. I really wanted to explore the world that I did not know and the world I had judgments against. And for me at that time, being Palestinian Arab living in the Middle East, I was in Dubai at that time. But because of the politics going on between the East and the West, so I thought, okay, well, the most country I have judgments against is America. And the second reason I wanted to come is to be exposed to different cultures and to study in the human service field and to become a humanitarian in a way, like either therapist or something beyond. My initial thought was I wanted to become a therapist. So I ended up in Ohio, went for my master's there and worked in the foster care system with kids. Then came to California to pursue transpersonal psychology track. And that's when I met Asma and Shankar here in Palo Alto in California in the 5 rhythm dance community. It evoked a lot in me, that study. It was psychological and beyond and spiritual and parapsychological. So I realized that it was too much for me, and I was getting actually sick at that time. I was getting sick with lupus, autoimmune disease. So I put everything on hold, and I ended up staying here and marrying and residing here. But that inner journey of being sick and trying to digest all what I learned in the past years, eventually I realized there is a lot of work to do within me. And I wanted to become a peace activist with honing as well the skills that I had as therapist and networker and connector with people and curious about other cultures. That's where I'm at right now. I'm representative of the Santa Cruz chapter of Combatants for Peace, which is a binational grassroots movement in Israel, Palestine, that's trying to bring both sides of the conflict together to hear each other's stories and get to know each other rather than what they hear from the news and what they learned from their history. And they are both trying to bring equality and justice. So they're trying to end the occupation so both nations can live in peace. I'm doing social activism here as well. And I live in the Santa Cruz Mountains. And actually my new goal and passion this year, especially after what's happening amidst the crisis, I feel so called to be part of the youth journey, coaching or mentoring them. I just see a very very tricky, scary, yet a very new way of being and a vision for the future. The current generation, the youth, the younger generation needs support with. So I'm trying to go into that direction right now, to be of like mental health or emotional health, or just be of inspiration and support to the younger generation. And that's it. I am married to an American who's from Jewish, Sufi, and Christian background, and I was born and raised Muslim, parents from Jerusalem. So I'm Palestinian, raised in Jordan, and now I'm American. So I say like identity is vague because I feel my soul is universal, but it's Palestinian, Jordanian, American with a global call. That's it. That's for my part.
I feel blessed to be with three of you who have been through so many cultures, and my journey has been a lot easier, India to America. I think all of you know me. I was born in rural India and came to the United States as a graduate student. Relatively easy because there was very little conflict between the Indian and the American culture. But it broadened me tremendously once I started getting to know people, and especially some of my earlier friends in Pakistan, Bangladesh. That changed my views within months. This whole nonsense of conflict just dissolved. Much later, I met people from the Arab world. Asma and Muna were among the first that I met from the Arab world. But I also worked with people from Lebanon, people from pretty much every country, Iraq. Learned a few words. Now I'm actually learning Arabic along with Spanish, and it's a great journey. So Rehan and Asma, tell us about you. Rehan or Asma, who would like to start?
You'd like me to start? Sure. Thank you, Rehan. So it's a pleasure to meet you, Rehan. I've heard lovely things about you from Shankar, and joined your Facebook page a few days ago. You've been doing some really interesting things, so it's really a pleasure to meet you. So my name is Asma Al Hamiz, and I'm from the UAE, United Arab Emirates. I have quite a mix of career backgrounds, but maybe I'll start with how I got myself to California and how I met Muna and then later met Shankar. So I was working, and I'm still involved in the investment world. I was working in an investment house in a local based sovereign wealth fund, and I was working in the investment world since 2004. And after I got my MBA from the London Business School in 2012, I just, I was more and more interested in the human behavior and the psychology world. It was something that I personally got involved in, doing my personal work and joining the transpersonal community here in Dubai. This was like, almost 10 years ago. And within the years and throughout my studies, I became, I fell in love with the field. So I wanted to get more of a hands-on experience. I wanted to get like a bottoms-up experience. So I ended up doing like a leave of absence from my day job working in Abu Dhabi and moved to California. It was quite a change for me. Culturally, I'm the first. Second. I have my aunt who went to study in Texas back in the 80s. So, from then up until the 2012, nobody from the family, a woman, left the country and moved abroad, moved to America to obtain a graduate degree. So I did that, and it was quite a change for me. I moved, to Palo Alto, joined the Institute of Transpersonal Psychology to join the Masters in Counseling Psychology, and I chose that specific school because I knew that the transformative education is what I wanted to be in. I wanted a program that values the full human experience. I always knew I wanted to work with people. I wanted to be a therapist. I wanted to open my own, facilitate workshops, open my own platform here, like a center for workshops and for one-on-one counseling and for events. So my time in America was spent really, in doing, the school and doing my practicum hours. And I met Muna very early on in the program when we were doing, I think it was one of those introductory online classes, and I saw an Arabic name, and I just sent her a one-liner. Hey, hi, I'm from Dubai. I noticed your name is Arabic, something like that, and we instantly connected. And when I moved, I met, and it was a cultural shock for me, believe it or not. I mean, I've always traveled. I thought it was like a shock also to my ego, because I always thought, here I am, from London Business School. I traveled. I've been to America so many times. I did the asset management scene in New York, and then I moved to California without the hat of the investment banker, just as a student, and I really mixed with the students. And I did work in the homeless community. I did work in East Palo Alto. I did work in Santa Cruz, and that's when like my world opened up. Like, I thought I've seen it all, but it was really like a humbling experience to be in this profession in that world. So anyway, so I graduated. I didn't stay for my master's in family therapy licensure. I didn't stay for the licensure. I couldn't get a job there. So I moved back to the UAE in 2015. And when I did move back, I was, I wasn't ready to practice psychology in the UAE. I don't think the UAE as a community, I don't think I was ready for the transpersonal alternative psychology field that I was specializing in. So the mix was just not, I wasn't ready. It intimidated me. And so what I ended up doing is going back to finance. So that was 2016. So here I am, my personal journey in self-development and transformation and meditation, movement meditation, 5 rhythms didn't stop. I continued. My goal is still there. My longing to start a center and to do all of that, it's still there. I'm working on it. I actually just recently set up like an online platform for wellness, integrative emotional wellness. So I'll be doing more of this stuff now online, with the aim really to transition out of finance for good. So that's me in a nutshell. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else, but I know Shankar from 5 Rhythms. We met Mountain View that evening, and like his smile and his joy was so inviting. And yeah, it was just like an easy connection, to be friends with him, and so kindly introduced us to Seema, and then hosted us in his place in Sunnyvale. And that was nice. So yeah, that's me.
Well, it's a joy for all of us to be together. Rehan, most people in Pakistan know you, but maybe others in other countries would like to know you too.
Most people in Pakistan also don't know me, don't worry. Thank you for this gathering, first of all. Thank you for introducing 2 new human beings, lovely people who want to do good in the world. My name, as Muna said, is Basil, and Rehan in English, in Arabic. And it's very difficult for me to know, because I really don't know myself. But I work towards ending world poverty, because if you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, unless and until we fix the poverty issue, we can't really tell them to do certain things. peace comes only when you have you have food, you have security, you have sense of security, you have some friends. Then you can talk sense, not instead of nonsense, you can talk sense to human beings. So in order for them to understand sensibility and sensing, there could be some people who could be hungry and still be sensible, but majority, I think, needs the first stuff of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The first three layers have to be fixed. Food, security, friends, a sense of security, and sense of well-being. Then we can talk sense into them. And living in a country of Pakistan and coming from Pakistan, I think majority of the country over here lives on less than $2 a day. And that is why I've worked in many things, but now my primary goal is to work on eradication of poverty from here and from everywhere else. And the tool for that is digitization, mobile phones, basic literacy through phones, everything through phone is what the path I work for. And when somebody asked me, what will you do when you get rid of the poverty section? And I will tell them, you really did not have to have the money in order to know that you can be happy without the money. But you can't tell somebody that before they have the basic needs met. So that's kind of what I do. I am an entrepreneur and a technologist from background. I have done over 150 companies in my life. It's been a very interesting journey. Never went to college, university. Life has been teaching me, sending me wonderful teachers like you guys. And I'm looking forward to, with excitement, what you guys will teach me. So I'm here to learn.
And tell us a little bit about your Institute of Peace as well, Rehan, because besides the basic need, which is poverty and food security, you've also been working on peace between different nations, right?
Yeah, I would like to hear more about that, and that's interesting, like turn for you. And I'm wondering how you are combining it with your previous skills in entrepreneurship and technology. Given your background as Pakistani, I'm curious how you and Shankar ended up as well, like molding that relationship between you, given the historical trauma and everything else. Would love to hear more.
Sure. Before I answer that, did I hear it correctly, Muna, that you're married to a Jewish person? Is he still Jewish?
I'm Sunni Muslim, and my husband's background, religious background, he's half Jewish, half Christian, and he was raised Sufi. We are both secular in our direction, so we're like embracing all religions, honestly, and dogmas, and we welcome everything that's serving the unity between all humans, and that's establishing love, compassion, and understanding, regardless.
I'm not judging you. I'm just asking.
I'm honestly, I care to clarify so people can understand more where I'm coming from, because I know it's something that rarely Arab or Muslim women would do, and I kind of broke the rule. But I hope that people, especially at such times, think and feel more about bringing us together rather than apart, and just spreading more understanding and love between religions. I work actually with the Tent of Abraham activists here. So we bring Muslims, Jews, and Christians, especially here in this area, not in the Bay Area, in Santa Cruz, mainly Tent of Abraham, to learn about each other and what's the common things between people from different religions. And in my case, I took it really far and personal. So under my in my marriage, under the roof of my house, we have 3 religions as background, Abrahamic religions, yet we practice and embrace different spiritual and just universal practices, honestly. That's to clarify.
And it's interesting you asked that question. Although I come from a Hindu background and I lived in predominantly Christian America, I used to go to church once in a while, but then somehow I came across Vipassana. And Rehan is also a Vipassana practitioner on a spiritual or a, calming the mind form. And I also discovered Sufi. Thanks to the Institute of Transpersonal Psychology, I
Yeah.
discovered Sufi Darwish dancing and the Sufi path. So
I'm a Vipassana student, by the way, too.
yeah, and very much into Sufi practices, including studying the work of Jalaluddin Rumi and Hafiz, and more recently Bulleh Shah and the Qawwalis at the same time. So it's really nice to learn from all these wisdom traditions. And I know Rehan has done his fair bit there, and so has Asma.
Yeah, I think I believe I don't know. I think I say this all the time. I believe it's one truth and one one truth, one message, but different people call it different things, and different people practice in different ways. It's really like one river. Actually, the founder of ITP, Robert Fraser, who Muna would always refer to it this way. It's like one river, but people in different countries call it different things. Like for me personally, I've been born into Islam. I come from a very traditional cultural background, tribal, that there's so much emphasis on heritage. The practices of Islam speak to me. Like it's just the way I observe Ramadan. I observe it's my it's the way I've been, the prayers, it's almost like the language I speak. It's how, but that does not mean that I don't appreciate and honor other practices and other religions, and my way is not the only way. I really truly believe that this is the practices that speak to me, that I've been born into, which I practice, but other people may practice in different ways, and that's the beauty of us. That's the beauty of it. Sorry, Rehan, you were onto something, and we took it.
No problem. So to understand, Muna is married to a Jewish person, and she was born in Palestine. And Asma was born in Dubai or Abu Dhabi.
I was not, sorry, Rehan. My parents were born in Jerusalem and left in the 60s. They were moving in the Arabian Gulf. I was born actually in Abu Dhabi and raised in Jordan.
Okay. And Asma, Asma is an Emirati?
I'm Emirati. I'm born in Dubai.
Oh, wonderful. So when I was growing up as a Muslim in Pakistan, the only enemy which existed was Jews and Indians. So not the poverty, not anything else. So, and also the Jews were supposed to rule the world. They were the smartest people in the world. They are the chosen one. So I was like, why are they so smart? What is inside? What is their DNA? What's going on? So I started looking for Jewish people, trying to understand what's happening there. Why are they so smart? I would like to be a little bit smart also and learn from them. And what's the smartness? So I started getting curious, and I started looking for them. And I was in the telecom industry, and in the telecom industry also, the internet telephony business was invented literally by Mossad or by the Israeli army. And so I was meeting some Jewish people with some kippah on the top, and very interesting. So I started talking with them very scaredly, maybe they will crucify me or do something wrong with me or do a spell on me or whatever, So all these myths were inside me, and I started to ask questions. And I met one, then I met another 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 one. And I didn't find anything special in them. I kept looking for that specialness that makes them so super smart. I found them as human beings. I didn't find something they're eating or doing which makes them like super smart. There must be something. And I'm still looking. I still don't know what is special in them. So when I kept looking and I kept meeting them, and my mother, who's normally a ninja and wearing a hijab or niqab, and when she found out I'm meeting Jewish people, she was like, "What? What's happening to my friend?" So I started recording them, introducing her, and making videos and asking. And I thought there are other people also who would be interested. So, and then also, Shankar, can you allow me to do screen share? So I'll share a video. And then
Sure.
I also met others like Indians, for example, and I was like, they're going to do something bad to me, and I found them also normal human beings, very loving, very caring.
How do I do
So
screen share, by the way? How do I allow you to do screen share?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay, I know,
And
I know. I make you
You
allow
invite him as co-host. I think.
host. Yeah.
so when I 10 years ago, when I started this whole journey of mine in ending world poverty, we created 120 new websites on different subjects: schooling, university, college. We wanted to transform everything, and I was kind of very ambitious. So being an internet, a website, we had servers, we had domains, we just hired some people and make 120 different websites. So I was on a spree. Every day there was a new project starting, a new something starting. And I went to another conference related to economics, and it was for the top 100 Indians. And I was somehow invited to that conference, the only Pakistani, talking about my school project, which I started on a mobile phone. So back when there was no 4G or high-speed internet, we created a school in a box for $10, $15, where people can buy the phone and learn basic literacy. So I was invited to talk about it. And then I meet a guy who started a peace institute. And I looked it up, and instituteofpeace.org was available. So I was like, guys, you should buy this. This is a good website. He said, no, I want Lord Rana Institute of Peace. I said, okay, can I buy it, please? I would love to buy it, and I'll start the Institute of Peace. So that's how the Institute of Peace was started. It wasn't never intended to start, and it was just started. But I was doing a lot of things, so I started organizing my stuff, and within that organization, I started doing my peace building effort and all that effort into that box called the Institute of Peace. And I started interviewing people back long time ago, talking to them, because I can't go to Israel. As a Pakistani, we're not supposed to say Israel word. It's like saying pig or pork. It's not acceptable. So I started interviewing people, and I started a show called Meet an Israeli. And then I started another show called Meet a Palestinian, because if there was a peace protest, 1 million people will be on the street in Pakistan for protesting for Kashmir or Palestine. But when I asked them, do you actually know a Palestinian? Have you ever met a Palestinian? They said, no, I've never met a Palestinian. Then I would ask them, have you ever met a Kashmiri? They said, no, I have never met a Kashmiri. I was like, okay, interesting. You're going to protest for a person who you have never met, you have no relationship with? Yes. Would you like to be friends with them? I've never met them. Can I meet them? So I started these shows called Meet an Indian, Meet a Kashmiri, Meet a Palestinian, and put them on the internet so that people can meet them, know a person and just talk with them, talk about food, talk about normal life, and no politics, no religion. Very simple.
Humanize them, basically, just humanize them.
Yeah.
Right. So I started these things. That's how.
It's like that connection, that human to human connection.
Yeah, that was the goal, and I have no idea how this screen thing is working. I'm going to try one more time.
Yeah, you shared the screen. Please continue.
It just worked, Rehan, just a second ago. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see you. You just bring up that screen. Yes.
Okay. So I would not want all my secret information to reveal to you. I have to be careful. All the agents making sure that I have to be very careful about this. we have like, I don't know, are you able to see full screen or only partial
Yeah,
screen?
yeah, we can see the full screen.
Full screen, okay. But there is a frame coming. I don't know what this
Yeah,
frame
we
is.
are at the bottom, but we can see most of it. Yeah.
Okay. Similarly, so you said, Mona, you know the Abrahamic tent. So do you know Lee Wiseman?
I'm sorry, I did not hear you, Rehan. What did you say?
You mentioned that you were working with the Abrahamic tent. Do you know Lee Wiseman from Irvine?
No Tent of Abraham here in my area, but I know they are around and in Palestine and Israel. Yeah, I don't know all of them. I hear so many names, but I'm really actually interested in connecting you with Combatants for Peace, the organization I work with, because they are actually ex-combatants, like Palestinians who were in the liberation and Intifada, and who basically, like me, I was as well programmed to hate the Jews growing up, until I came to America and met one and learned more about the history of Jews and what's happening in Palestine and Israel, and how the politics work. So they are combatants from the Israeli army and Jews in Israel who never met Palestinians and who hated them, and who served in the army, and Palestinians who were in prison. They came together to really just to like listen and learn about each other, like exactly what you said, and humanize the other part, and learn how to find a common way, and try to end this misery we are all living in, not just in Palestine and Israel, but even now. Like I'm listening to many interviews on how people are feeling there should be a new way going forward. And that's going probably back, Shankar, to what you're saying, like how we are managing in this pandemic, what we are really learning amidst such global difficult times is, do we continue doing same old, same old? Is there something new? What's the vision for all humans, ending poverty, fulfilling basic needs for all people? So a lot of questions and new visions are definitely called forth. And I feel like even this being together, talking and sharing and maybe conversing about uncomfortable, really, topics, like a Muslim woman marrying a Christian, Jewish, American man.
I love that. I owe you a dinner, dude. I mean, come on. This is crazy.
I owe you a dinner for being Rehan.
You're definitely paving the way, Mona.
Habibti, wallahi, I hope I'm inspiring people, but honestly, the path of
don't come to Pakistan though.
Of peace activism, I know it's really tough. I'm like reminded daily, as much as food and showering is important, like Muna, the daily inner work and my spiritual inner journey is so crucial in maintaining my groundedness and resilience and vision for inclusive world.
Right. I'm curious, maybe we can like go around and talk about that.
Yeah.
Like yeah, that's something that I feel very passionate about and touched by, like the inner journey, because I feel like you know, a lot of, you know, it's important to walk your talk, right? Not just talk it. So how do you do that, Mona? Like how? You know, how
I talked enough, Habibti, about myself. I would love to hear and learn from you guys. Let's like make a round of how do we stay connected to that inner journey, and what do we do going forward?
Yeah, maybe Rehan. I'll save myself to last, but Rehan, I'd love to hear how you do it, because you inspire me with the work you've done. You've done, you know, so much. And how do you do it? How do you do it, but also make sure that your own inner journey is connected to the outer journey? I'm just curious.
Before I get into that, I have another India-Pakistan conflict thing. Actually, I would like you guys to join. Maybe it's basically a talk about how to use technology for peace building. And you guys can join. It's a show hosted by my friend Carla in DC. And
She's the
you
one
would
who
like that?
connected me. Carla
Yeah.
Richman, a Jewish lady based in Pennsylvania. She's the one who connected me through the Institute of Peace to Rehan. I had met Rehan 5 years ago at Wisdom 2.0. I think somewhere in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was very impressed by his a PC for everyone, getting everybody a laptop or a computer so that they can be effective. This was before the cell phones became popular, but and he has been doing that, by the way. He's been giving away, I don't know how many, but hundreds, if not thousands of laptops and all that to people so that they can become internet savvy, they can get connected, they can learn from people around the world. And I'm really grateful to Carla, if she's watching this at any point, that she is the one who connected us. Please continue. Sorry for interrupting you there.
So I want to just say 5 minutes about how I do this, and everything to answer Asma. Everything I do is for myself. I'm a very selfish person when it comes to inner journey, right? So I do it because I want to become a better person. Very simply, I don't do it because the world should become better. I have a big poster, and when you enter my house, it will say the Rumi's quote. First I was smart, I tried to change the world. Then I became wise and I tried to change myself. So I don't try to change anyone anymore. Everything I do is for my own inner journey and to become a better person. I don't want to change anyone because I know I cannot do it. I can't change myself. How can I change anybody else? Having said that, my playground is Facebook, and everything I do, back in the day when Facebook started, there was an option for religion, and my religion said Facebook. And everything I do is Facebook. I have met phenomenal human beings on Facebook. I have around 4 million people now on Facebook. It's a blessing. So my interesting story was I started a company in the US in 21 years ago, and then I came to Pakistan, and they never let me back in the US. I was rejected 16 times the US visa, 26 in overall visas internationally. So I had to stay in Pakistan and I had to work in the US. So 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was a different human being. So I had to learn to use technology in the way I do. And my customers used to think I don't exist or I am a fraud or something. So I had to make videos. And I was a very shy person. And that's how I started making videos, because I had to make my living. And nature gives you the tools all the time. We think they're a problem, but they're actually there to make you a better person. So my first Jewish person who I met on Facebook, it took me 6 months to add him as a friend. He wouldn't add me. He said, no, it's by my personal space. I'm not going to add you. And after 6 months, he finally added me. Then I sneaked in my mother with him. So became 2 people. Then I started adding my more family members. Now he has 5,000 Facebook friends from Pakistan, followers. And he started a um, whole I would say, I started a page which says, my journey to Pakistan. And he was a very angry person, I think. And now he denies it, but I think he was a very angry person. And now he's a very patient person because he started meeting the so-called enemies. He started meeting the so-called people who were giving him friction. And I did an experiment on Facebook because I was not allowed to leave. I made a lot of friends on Facebook. So anybody who was anybody in the world became my Facebook friend. That's how I met Shankar also. I friended everyone: Steve Wozniak, Steve Case, Steve Jobs. Everybody was my Facebook friend. And I never met them. And I had to pretend that I'm in the US because my business was in the US. So I made thousands of friends. And then Facebook deleted my account. I made them again. I deleted it again. I made it again. So that's how I found out the power of Facebook. And I did an experiment. My colleagues were also Pakistanis, and I saw that they were changing. And I saw that they were starting to talk to Jews and other people, and there was something going on. So I wanted to, there's a study where if you have 5 millionaire friends, you will be the sixth one, and you become like the person you know. So I made a experiment, and I said, if anybody takes my 500 Facebook friends, I will give you a free laptop. And I gave 1 laptop, 2 laptop, 3 laptop, 4 laptop, 5 laptop, 6 laptop. I gave away 500 laptops. And I made a study of what happens to a person when they change their Facebook friends. These people change. These people become a totally different human person, which, because majority of Pakistanis, majority of the third world country people can never leave their country. Even if they have money, they cannot travel. They would never experience an Israeli or an Indian or a Palestinian or a Kashmiri or whoever you hate, whatever your hatred is. You will never meet them in person. Chances are you will never meet them. So I wanted to see how can I accelerate this growth, which I had by traveling to 85 countries. How can I do this through Facebook? And I did this experiment, and I have proved it to myself and to many others that if you go through this process of which I have created, you gain amazing human beings as friends. You become a superman, super person, a super girl by having the crowd to do things for you for free because they want to learn from you or they want to be your friend. You can start companies. My first company I started with my Facebook, my email friend in Florida. She transformed me as a human being. She was my teacher. I was 21 when I met her. She came to my wedding in Pakistan. She helped me start my company in the US. I mean, my total life has been because of the internet and a randomness of friends, because I don't believe in randomness anymore. And I wanted to create more. Her name was Suzanne. So I want to have others to find more Suzannes so they can find their partner in life or journey or business, so they can start their businesses and change their life and others. So I did this experiment, and now I have this course which I've designed, which totally changes a person in 3 months. You have very little bias left. You can change yourself from 3 months to 2 years just sitting on Facebook. You don't have to go anywhere. And I was literally like trained for pandemic. I mean, I've been living a pandemic life for 5 years. I've been a hermit.
Love this.
I
love this.
I mean, I was creating tools for pandemic, post-pandemic. I was designing.
So you were already prepared. You were prepared way ahead.
Yes.
I call Corona Hazrat Corona alayhi salam. I don't call Corona. May God bless Corona, because of this Corona, our country in 3 months has created an education school, has closed all the stupid school systems, has digitization, which would have happened in 10 years, it is happening in 3 months.
That's true.
Amazing things are happening in the third world countries.
Phenomenal even stuff in India. Yes.
Because now everybody is finally equal, because we are sitting all at home, connected through the internet. It doesn't matter you're in New York, you're in Santa Cruz, you're in Florida, you're in Pakistan, you're in Dubai. It doesn't matter. Absolutely doesn't matter. You're all finally equal. So I was designed for this. I mean, I have been trained for this, and I'm enjoying every moment of it. And I keep praying, please, 1 more year of lockdown.
No, come on.
But Rehan, you got me so excited about the program you created for like inner change only through Facebook and technology. Please send us information because I'm gonna publicize it.
And my first live stream was with Rehan. My very first live stream was with Carla and then Rehan. And I never was sure I would ever put my face on a live stream because I was scared. And I was like, oh, I look so Indian and this and that, all these prejudices that we have. I've been in the US since 1987, but still I had a prejudice that I should look so Indian. And one interview with Carla and the next one with Rehan, I was like, hey, it actually feels cool. So I was one of those who, and by the way, I've done a lot of video blogging without showing my face.
Shankar CNN, always on.
But we have so many judgments about ourselves. It's so sad. Like when
and then I interviewed Muna also. Muna also,
Yeah,
we
like
interviewed you.
just this conversation when we
Yes.
started, I told you I just woke up, I look puffed and I don't look good. I'm like, yeah, let's record this. I'm like, okay. I don't look good, but like, hey, who cares?
It's all a matter of perception. Looks like Rehan has gone into the
I
background.
don't know.
Hopefully, yeah, he's
Yeah,
back.
no, here he is.
Please
Okay,
continue.
so basically, eradication of poverty, eradication of hatred, everything I found is related to just basically changing our firewall or ego. I call ego a firewall. One of my teachers who lives in Mount Shasta, he actually gave me an explanation of ego, that ego is a firewall. Just like you have antivirus software, so that you don't, the purpose of ego is to protect you from new ideas and ideologies. It's not there to harm you, it's there to protect you, because our brain is designed not to take any ideas after a certain age, because we didn't have enough time to change a philosophy or ideology, and you become the person. So it's not a bad thing. But once you add one random friend and two random friends and three random friends, and after 10 random friends, you just give up. You're like, fuck, screw it, I will add everyone. And then everything starts to change, because now you allow the universe to take over your life, your journey, and you open yourself up, and then you accept what comes to you rather than what you're looking for. So that is what this process has created. It's a very simple process. Process is simply you go and add 10 of my Facebook friends, and another 10 of my Facebook friends, and another 10 of my Facebook friends. After you have 50, you do a live with them, Facebook live with them publicly, publicly, anyone, and do it 10 times. And then you do it another 10 times. You do 50 live shows, and then you become Shankar. And then you allow yourself to become vulnerable, and then that is when you learn. Unless and until you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you can't learn, you can't grow, you can't evolve. It's totally against all those philosophies which we have studied
Right.
about organizing, about structuring, about everything. And unfortunately I was this way, but I have accepted it now, that I don't plan for more than 24 hours anymore. It comes, it happens,
You
it
don't,
happens.
sorry, you don't plan?
I absolutely don't plan anything for more than 24 hours. If you ask me,
Yeah.
can we meet next week? I said 50-50. If I'm available, I will be
Right.
there. If I'm not, tomorrow
And
I
what
was,
would you say?
tomorrow
Yeah,
I'm
to
asked
like,
to host an event with the president of Pakistan. And I said, sorry, it's at 3:30. I wake up around 3:30. I will try to wake up early, but if I can, I can come. I cannot come, I cannot come. I cannot promise 100%. Sorry to the apology to the president of our country. I'm sorry, but my body comes first. He's not going to do anything for me. So that's how crazy I have become, and I'm happy about it.
Asma, you had a question about that?
yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's it's amazing to hear, but like it's hard. You just have to, like, I hear it and I'm like, I'm someone who gets easily like shy to put myself out there. I only started an Instagram account, I think, like a month ago or 2 months ago. I find it intimidating, but yeah, so I need to learn.
Well, definitely social media changed my life, but in this particular context, live streaming has made me much bolder than I've ever been. And believe it or not, many of my closest Facebook fans now are Seema's friends, my wife's friends, because they appreciate it. Oh, this is the real Shankar who's been hiding all this time. In other words, the vulnerabilities come out, as Rehan has been saying. It takes a lot of courage to be able to face yourself in front of, you never know how many people will watch it, right? And the other person may forward it further and so on. But it brings us into integrity, it brings us into authenticity, and um, not truth as defined in any book, but being able to face the world as it is today, in the here and now. Not easy at all.
It's not difficult also. I just want to say something, and I would like to take my leave for the Carda's event. There is a very, more important to me than the president guy. I've been knowing him for 8 years. I'm trying to patch things between India and Pakistan. He worked very hard with him. I was a person who couldn't look in anybody's eyes. I was a person who could not look at any woman. I was a person who still would be staying away. If I saw a woman in Pakistan, I would run away from there. I was a person who could not speak. I was a person, totally different person, totally, I wouldn't recognize myself. And the way to change is, there's a website called tinyhabits.org. You should look into it. Is by creating very small steps. You trick your own mind first, then you trick anything else. Your mind is your biggest enemy, or the biggest obstacle and everything. 9 months ago, I could not do one push-up. Yesterday, I was so proud of myself. I did 21 push-ups 3 times, but like 7 at a time. I could still not do more than 7. I'm overweight. I don't move. I'm a hermit, so I don't exercise. I hate exercising. So I'm trying to change my own philosophy in many ways. And the way to do it is very small step, like we're doing right now, and recording. And like, for example, I sent you guys a message, can you open your follower function? Because the moment you will add me as a friend, people are going to swamp you with friend requests because they want the free laptop. I give away free laptops to people who steal my friends. So they're going to start friending you the moment. I have a machine now of mechanics. I mean, I have a whole factory of transformation of brain. You just become my friend and just sit and let things just happen to you, and you will see it's going to transform you. So, but to do that, you don't have to friend them if they don't, talk to you, if you don't get it. But you allow them to follow you, which what means is that if you put anything public, you share a video of CNN, you share an article, they can't see it right now. So by sharing, you can start giving your message, becoming a louder message. And that way you start changing yourself. And once you start creating holes in your firewall and your software and your antivirus, it will start coming to you, and you will start seeing different things. In my opinion, there is no such thing as privacy anymore left. We are living all in a glass bottle now. And we might have a fake sense of privacy, but it's not really that private. If you accept it, I accepted it a few years ago, and I don't know when was the last time I had to lie. I don't need to lie anymore, because I don't say it if there's something which I think can be caught, because I do everything publicly. I have 8,000 plus videos on YouTube. Everything I do is public. You want to do a meeting with me? You don't want to do a live call? Sorry, find another person. I mean, very simply, it's a path I choose, and I feel that it's very interesting. It transforms us. And if people from Palestine were doing that, I mean, I can't even find the people who are governing Palestinians. I mean, hello, what are their numbers? What are their Twitter IDs? How can I say hi to them? How do you talk with them? So the problems are more about confusions and these so-called egos. There's no other problem. It's just confusion going on. And that's why there is problem with India, Pakistan, China, all these things. They're just they're very, very small problems amplified as large problems. Like in a relationship, you have very, very small, many, many problems. And one day you just burst, about nothing. And it's not nothing. It's a lot of things which are stuck in our head, which becomes very large all of a sudden. Having said that, do you mind if I can leave now? Or
you need to go? Sure. And let's talk about the following steps. Because you mentioned...
Go ahead, Shankar. Sorry, because I need to go too, but this was great first meeting.
This was great. And I've recorded the whole thing. We'll see whether people are comfortable sharing it. But one quick one, Rehan, you mentioned something about you getting them involved in some other forum or with Carla. What was that?
I can send you the meeting invite right now. It's Mindfloor. It's a show which Carla does every single day, 9 o'clock. It's a mind gym, basically. You come in and you gym your mind about weird people, and you talk about something in that day. Carla is 68. She's in DC. She was a very interesting character, long story. You will enjoy if you want to join for 15 minutes.
She's 68 going on 16. So
what's her last name? Carla
Reachman. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Rehan, thank you for your time today, and it was a pleasure meeting you. And I'm so inspired. I need to get out of my social media comfort zone. Yeah, slowly but surely, because I started a business called Art of Being. It's an online platform for healing, and to get the message out there, I need to put it out there.
So I have a brigade now, small army of people who can interview you and make you famous in very small amount of time. Like Shankar is a celebrity already in Pakistan. But if you are interested, just
honestly,
let me know. I will send them to you, and it will transform you.
Just talking to a lot of people changes us. No question about that. Just talking to a lot of people.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank you very much.
Rehan, and it's good to see you again,
Asma
and Shankar. Thank you, Shankar, for connecting us. My God, you're like...
That's my job. This is all I do.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you, guys. Have a lovely evening.
Have a lovely evening.
And good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you, Habibti. We'll see you.
Everybody okay with sharing this video?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.